Part 2 of Best Films of 2015 so far. Now, this film I'm talking about is one that I didn't think is really one of the best of the year, and it was actually a little disappointing. But it's a film that I thought was more good than bad. Now, I may get some people might be divided on this one, obviously. Tomorrowland, which was directed by Brad Bird, written by him and David Lindelof, starring George Clooney, Britt Robertson, Hugh Laurie. Fucking folks, I need a new camera. But this one is not really a contender for Best Films of the Year. I think it's being way too nice because I didn't think it was that great. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I do think there were some things that were more good than bad about it. My biggest issues with this film is that sometimes the story elements were a little... some story, like the story did fall apart a little bit in the third act. It had a weak villain. The change in tone didn't work for me. And while there was some entertainment value to get out of that, it didn't work the best way. It kind of pounded you over the head with the environmental message. I thought everything wrapped up too nicely. But other than that, the first two thirds were really fun. It looked great visually, and it was intriguing. But I have to say, this film could have been so much more. It could have been so much better. The visuals were great in all the 3/3. There are some things you can get out of the last third, even with its issues involving the story. You can get some good visuals. Yay. Some cool action. Yay. But, yeah, those things are almost like overshadowed by the fact things. Now, 2.5 out of 5 would have also been kind of fitting, but I still enjoyed it. I did have some fun with this movie, and I do think that it could have been much more of an experience if it was a lot better in terms of the story and the script. But as a whole, I had fun with this movie, and while I do think I'm being a little too nice with the 3 out of 5, I don't think it's that bad for a 2.5. I do think it could have been much better, especially from Brad Bird, but hopefully, with The Incredibles 2 coming out soon, he's working on the script from what I heard, do that. We can hopefully forgive him for that, for the fact that he is a little underwhelming. The next one is... Ow, shit, my head. I'm just doing some stuff right now, guys. Ow. This one is also disappointing. I think I'm being too nice to it by giving it 3 out of 5, but it's Entourage. I don't think it's that great of a film, but it's one I put more of an honorable mention, I guess. Same for Tomorrowland. Maybe Pitch Perfect, too. But when I think about Entourage, I do think it's a bit like the TV show. I mean, it's more for the fans, and I do understand the style of the show. And one thing I could say is that it is faithful to the show. It's entertaining. Jeremy Piven is awesome as Ari. But I do have to say that it kind of also doesn't work the same way. Because you basically get the same characters, they're a bit of douchebags, I guess. You know, fucking women. It satirizes the Hollywood lifestyle. I don't think it's that great of a film, basically. But I don't think it's a bad film, in my opinion. I do think there are some... I think it was a little bit more good than bad, though maybe I'm being a little too nice to it. I did enjoy some aspects of it. There were some cameos. Some didn't really have their time to shine. Some of them were kind of thrown in there. I mean, it is Hollywood. It is a film. But it felt more like an extended episode. I still had some fun with it, and I did like the scene in the cast together. They had some good chemistry. I mean, how could you not? You have Doug Ellen, the guy who wrote the script and directed the film, also created the show. But, yeah, I feel like this film could have been much better. So much. The trailers made it so it looked like it could have been awesome. It could have been so entertaining. It could have been so funny. Could have been longer. I don't care about that. Could have been much longer. Develop the characters more. I basically kind of know the characters are kind of one-dimensional, so I guess I kind of downgrade the film a bit. But I still enjoyed some aspects of it. I had some fun with it, but I do think I'm being a little too nice by giving it 3 out of 5. But I still thought I enjoyed it more than I thought was okay. I thought it was more good than okay, I guess. Let's just say that. Kind of same for Tomorrowland. Yeah. Who knows? I might just change my mind. Who the hell knows? Another one is Jurassic World, which I gave a 4 out of 5. I thought it's the only sequel in the Jurassic Park series that I like. I am hopeful with Jurassic World 2 that they announced it. Hopefully Bryce Dallas Howard won't run in heels again. I don't understand high heels. Let me just get that straight. I don't understand high heels. I feel like, are they just going to damage your feet, damage your walking? Aren't those dangerous to you? I don't see any style in them. How the hell can you run in them? Sure, she can run in them. It was just stupid. It was more of a nitpick. It's not a criticism. It's a distraction and it's a nitpick. The film is not perfect. The film's not perfect. And you can't beat Jurassic Park, obviously. There are some issues with the tone. There are some tone issues that don't work for me. It is a bit silly at times, but I do enjoy it. And sometimes the CGI is a little bit noticeable. Though I think the CGI is great for the most part, some of it is a little noticeable. It is pretty entertaining. It does manage to do a good job. Colin Trevorrow shows himself as a, director of mainstream blockbusters. It's his first mainstream film. I never saw Safety Not Guaranteed, which I heard was actually really good. I just never got to see it, which really pisses me off because I like it. I'm getting more independent films. I'm actually a bit of a fan of those. I mean, I saw While We're Young. It's one of my favorite films of the year. But I do think that whatever. Hopeful that it could work. Hopeful that I could get something out of that. I am hoping that the sequel will be good because you got Colin Trevorrow, Derek Connolly writing the script. You get Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard again. But who could be director? Could it be Steven Spielberg? Who knows? It might be. And who and what not? Who else would it be? Matthew Vaughn? I mean, the reason I kind of said Matthew Vaughn is because, this is a bit violent. It's a little bit more graphic, I guess, than Jurassic Park. So there's so much more death in there, but it's awesome. Yeah, Jurassic, that could be kind of cool. Matthew Vaughn's also known for just being creating R-rated films. Who knows, he might just make a very shocking PG-13 film. Seriously, think about that. Matthew Vaughn directing Jurassic World 2. Seriously, think about that. Now, there are a lot of fun fights, and actually was one fight at the end, near the end of the movie. That does drag on for a little bit, but I have to say it's a lot better than the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3. Only a couple seconds. So damn disappointing. This one, however, did. I thought, oh my god, why is it going to end here? That's disappointing. Then, of course, when those Velociraptors came out, it was just awesome. There are some spoilers here. I thought it was awesome. And the Mosasaurus. I was just thinking, okay, what about the Mosasaurus? Like, how would he be involved in this battle? And his involvement was fucking awesome. Now, I know I'm spoiling it for you, but basically everyone has seen this movie by now. Although, some people are not saying. My grandpa, my grandma didn't see it. I gave it 4 out of 5. I don't think it's not that great of a film. There are a couple of issues. A guy thinks about weaponizing raptors, which is so fucking stupid. And there are a couple of problems in terms of tone, but I still think it's entertaining. It's a worthy successor to the Jurassic Park series, worthy follow-up to Jurassic Park 3. It's better than Jurassic Park 3 and Lost World, obviously. It's probably the only good sequel to Jurassic Park. It's probably the only one I consider really part of the franchise. It's fun to see the T-Rex just going crazy around San Diego and Lost World, don't get me wrong. I just didn't like those films. Lost World and 3. They weren't that great. Yeah. Now, another film is Spy. Spy was written and directed by Paul Feig, stars Melissa McCarthy, Rose Byrne, Jason Statham. Who else am I talking about? Jude Law. I know it's a Terminator theme. I kind of wanted to do that. But let me tell you, Spy was not perfect, but it was one of the best comedies of this year so far, if not the best. I thought it was a lot of fun. I had so much fun with it. It was absolutely incredible. It was incredibly funny, maybe even hilarious. Melissa McCarthy was actually a badass in that movie, and also I really liked her I thought she was absolutely funny. And I also enjoyed Rose Byrne. She actually was really surprising me how much of a bitch she was. Ha ha. If there's any issues I have with that film, it's basically that some of the gags drag on for a bit. And that kind of makes me kind of a little angry because you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen. Because, we want that to happen. You don't want to drag on a joke too long, it just kind of ruins the punchline. It also ruins the comedy. But one thing I can say about the film that works well is that it is really funny. Melissa McCarthy's awesome. The action sequences are great. Jason Statham also is incredibly funny. If you're surprised that he can do comedy, have you ever seen Lock, Stock, 2 Smoking Barrels or Snatch? Okay, I never saw Smoking Barrels, but I know it's a comedy, but I feel like if you've never seen a dark comedy that he did, the hell. He also was kind of comedic in The Italian Job. But he was absolutely funny in Spy. He was absolutely the standout. But yes, there are a few. Some jokes do drag on for a bit too long, and some of them get awkward. But no doubt, it's still funny. Roseburn was a surprise. I had so much fun with this movie. Okay, let's continue on. Another one is Dope. Now, Dope is a film. Now, Dope was an independent film that was an independent film set within the hood. Now, let me tell you a thing about that film. Now, one thing I could say is that it's, once again, it's not a perfect film, which kind of pisses me off. But it's still a really good film. It's original. It's full of energy and comedy, and it's still a lot of fun to watch. One thing I could say about it is that it's entertaining. It's full of energy. Shameik Moore is a fantastic in the film. Outstanding breakout performance. He's going places. Tony Revolori's in the film. He's great. There's also this girl in there. She's awesome. They have a great dynamic, and it's really entertaining. It's just so awesome. It's entertaining. It's full of energy. It's funny, but also it's very insightful. My only issue with the film is that there's a subplot involving drugs that kind of damages the message a bit, but even with that, I still enjoy this film a bit, and I really recommend you watch it if you ever see it like on DVD or on cable, or if it's in theaters. I don't think so, though. Yeah. You don't want to hear that. You want to hear it when it's out in theaters, because that's how it works. Okay, so there are some things that I do miss that I want to get to. Now these are films that are more on my list of the top 10. That'd be more my top 4 of 2015. Although more of a top 3 because there's one involving a tie that I still haven't been able to dissolve yet. But let's get to it. Love and Mercy. This is a Beach Boys biopic that is directed by Bill Pohlad, written by Michael Allen Lerner and Oren Moverman. Never seen any of his films, Oren Moverman's. I know he's directed some. He's even collaborated with Woody Harrelson, but I have not seen his films. He's directed. And of course written. But one thing I can say about this film is that it's a very well done film. Paul Dano and John Cusack give some of, if not the best performances of their career. One of, if not the best performances of their career. There's great music, it is well handled, there's a lot of insight into the character of, Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. I actually have a poster, I'm just going to show you guys. It's, right here. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Oh, this thing's charged. I didn't know about that. Hold on a minute, guys. Ow! Fucking headache. Fucking head's killing me. Yeah, I really shouldn't be doing this. I should just be really resting. But yeah, it's a really good film. Fantastic performances, not only from Dano and Cusack, but also Paul Giamatti and even Elizabeth Banks. This is one of the best biopics of this, I think, of this decade, though the best will always be The Social Network. But this one's also really good. It's probably my favorite of the year so far, and I highly recommend you check it out. I'm doing something. Okay, another one is Ex Machina. Ex Machina was an independent film. It was a directorial debut of... Hold on a minute. Directorial debut of Alex Garland, who also wrote the film. It stars Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, Alicia Vikander. And this is absolutely a great film. This is one of my favorite films of the year. One of my favorite sci-fi films of this year. And one of the biggest surprises I had. I was so excited for this film, and I was so surprised what I watched. I was so happy that I got to watch this film because it's just so entertaining, but also not entertaining. It's so engaging, and even at its slower pace, it just never ceases to amaze me. Alicia Vikander is absolutely fantastic. Same for Oscar Isaac. They're so dark and compelling. Domhnall Gleeson is not my favorite of them, but he still does a good job for what he can do. He also is pretty good. It's very haunting and very disturbing, and it just really doesn't seem to doesn't fail to unsell you, and it doesn't fail to engage you either. It's never boring. It's never bad. It works. There's also some great production values. There's some beautiful cinematography, great art direction, great production design. and has a great haunting atmosphere, a unique score, but also I really do think it's well handled. I thought it was well done. The ending was a little bit of a problem, but I do think there was some supporting logic, especially for my friend Diego. I really shouldn't be doing this. But yeah, this film was really surprising. And whenever they use CGI, which is very minimal, it was great. It looks fantastic. Alex Garland really shows his future, really has a future as a director. I'm so impressed. I'm so happy to say that this is one of my favorite films of the year. I love this film, guys. I loved it. 5 out of 5. I'll do a review on it. Now, let me tell you one thing about this movie that I do. Oscar Isaac's truly rising, and I can't wait to see him in Star Wars Episode 7. I don't know what I did with my tongue. I've been doing that a while. But anyways, let's get to it. Come on. Okay. Another one is... Hold on a minute, I gotta look it up. Damn it! Inside Out. This is the new Pixar film directed by Pete Docter, written by him, Josh Cooley, Meg LaFave, starring Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, Lewis Black, Mindy Kaling, Phyllis Smith. And you know about the movie. It's about this one little girl it's this girl who's going through life. She's just moved, and there's an issue. There's a conflict involving her emotions, and joy and sadness get separated from headquarters. Unfortunately, get sucked out into the long-term memory section, away from headquarters, and they must find their way back. And along the way, there's a lot of shenanigans that ensue. There's some dramatic turns, and also there's incredible moral messages. I was so excited for this film. Pixar hasn't been that great, but I absolutely love this film. The other emotions are anger, fear, and disgust. They are all great. I love all the voice actors. My favorite is Lewis Black as Anger. He's so damn funny. I mean, sure, he doesn't go on any any swear rants, but he still is really funny in this movie because he's such a natural fit. I was laughing my ass off throughout this movie. I was dying laughing. Bill Hader is my other favorite, is Fear. He's just always scared all the time. And the design of his character is awesome because it's just so fitting. I keep getting my mom's calls. Why the hell is that? But it's just so fitting, the fact that you're just laughing your ass off throughout this. It's so funny. It was so funny, but also it's so beautifully animated. But also there's some incredible emotion. It's so inventive. My favorite thing about this movie is it's just relatable. It's one of the most relatable movies I've ever watched in my life. I mean, you never just see that anymore from Pixar. And now, in fact, I think they're coming back on top. And in fact, they're getting The Good Dinosaur, which I think was to make up for the fact there wasn't a Pixar film in 2014, especially thanks to restructuring. Hopeful with this film. There have been some issues, but I'm still hopeful that Pixar could do us again a second time. It'll make up for the fact we didn't get one in 2014. Why the fuck was that? Because they had to restructure their company. And while it did piss me off, I do praise the decision because we did get Inside Out, and I absolutely loved this film. Now, this is the fact where the number one spot is the tie between not only Inside Out, but also for one film that absolutely was one hell of a thrill ride once I saw it in theaters on opening day. Mad Max Fury Road. I mean, seriously, who did not love this film when it hit theaters? It was absolutely fucking awesome. Awesome. The thing is, this movie is that there's so much character and imagination put into it, and there's so much constant action, and the action's almost completely constant. There are times where it does slow down, but the pace is relentless. It keeps moving at a fantastic pace, but also there's so much imagination. The action's amazing. Oh my god, it was so thrilling to watch. Jaw-dropping, mind-blowing, incredibly intense. Also, Tom Hardy is great in this movie, although he's overshadowed by Charlize Theron. That's not a bad thing because I absolutely love Charlize Theron. She was an awesome female character. She's Furiosa, Imperator Furiosa. She was fucking awesome. George Miller did such a fantastic job bringing back his franchise to life. I thought, you know, Mad Max is awesome. Mad Max is great. I love The Road Warrior. The Beyond Thunderdome was, But one thing I can say about this movie that I love this movie, guys. There's so much character and personality to it. There's some mystery behind these characters, but also there is a bit of development to them. I mean, there's actually some surprising weight to it, involving emotion, and even the action is very well done. But there is some surprising narrative heft. Now, I may be stealing this from the Rotten Tomatoes consensus, saying that with exhilarating action and a surprising amount of narrative heft, other stuff, this Fury Road does have a surprisingly strong story and characters. It has a great villain. He's very intense, very, very disgusting. He's freaking awesome. Also, the action's fantastic. It was mind-blowing. It was so much fun. Now, you may say there's not much of a story in there, and you may be right, but there is a bit of But one thing I can say, whatever it kind of lacks in story, makes up for in world building. There's some great world building. I'd love to see more of Mad Max series. George Miller is 70 years old. He's such an incredible director. He's still an incredible director with such a vision that he never ceases to amaze me. He truly satisfied me. I absolutely loved Mad Max Fury Road. You guys know it. It's probably the best film of this. It's probably the best action film of this decade. Well, probably not. It's a fantastic film. It surprised me. It actually had a bit of a story to it. It had some great characters, fantastic action sequences, some of the best I've ever seen in my life. And to know Fish Road 2 kicked its ass on opening weekend pisses me off. But luckily, it was successful enough, and they're doing sequels. I'm so happy to see some sequels. I'd like to see more of it. I really, really do. I mean, I love this film so much, guys. It was so fun. There's some surprising emotion in there. I actually teared up a bit one scene, but it was so amazing. That film was an experience, not only because of incredible action, but there was some surprising story in there. The visuals are beautiful. There's such great vibe. There's such great saturation of orange and red. It just looks so great. There's so much character and personality to it. And this movie was amazing. It is one of my favorite action movies of all time. It is an absolute action masterpiece. I loved it. Mad Max Fury Road, obviously. I already did it for a review, but I'm making this point. I'm just gonna do it again. 5 out of 5. I absolutely love this film. It was my favorite film in May 2015. Is my favorite film of the year? Who knows? It might just be. I mean, guys, I was so incredible. I was so hyped for it. And this movie succeeded my expectations. Because there's so much entertainment value and so much action strategy, yet there's still a sense of tension. Yet I feel for the characters. I can't believe this. I absolutely loved it. This movie. Anyways, guys, that's my review. Those are my favorite. That's part 2. And the conclusion to my favorite films of 2015 so far. Comment below. What did you think? What did you think about it? Are there any films that you like that I missed? Do you have any honorable mentions? Do you have anything like that? Just do you have a list of your favorite films of 2015 so far? Comment below and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I was such an idiot. I forgot to mention this film. Ant-Man. You guys know how much I really like this film, though I thought the film was weak in the first 15-20 minutes, had some bizarre tone shifts. It was such an entertaining film. I mean, after the issues involving the fact that Edgar Wright was not directing it, I was pissed, but I was still hopeful that Peyton Reed could still deliver, and hopefully that Paul Rudd could show that he can be a superhero. And guess what, guys? It really did surprise me. It was so much fun. It's the funniest and most daring Marvel film since Guardians of the Galaxy, though I think that one is still the funniest and most daring film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Paul Rudd really was likable and awesome. Michael Douglas was awesome. Evangeline Lilly was awesome. Michael Pena was awesome. The entire team that Scott works with, such great personalities. They're so entertaining. It is absolutely full of incredible fun comedy. Some of the best visual effects work Marvel's ever done, and I was so satisfied with this film. Even though I didn't think it was perfect, I still had so much fun with it. Excited to see him in Civil War. So excited to see Civil War in general. I mean, who is not? Come on. I really, really am obsessed. I really am happy to say this, guys, that Ant-Man did work. And now, for real, that is the actual conclusion to my favorite films 2015 so far. Okay?